And then settle yourselves into a comfortable position. That can be wherever you want it to be. And then when you're there, allow your eyes to close or your eye gaze to soften. And allow the breath to enter, to leave, and observe everything that happens in between. Notice how your exhalation creates a cascading wave type motion through the body. See if you can allow the day's tension and stress to leave with that cascading wave. Allow the heaviness of your body to connect you down to the floor. And allow the lightness of your breath to allow you to feel free. Just going to take a few more breaths here, drawing the inhalation all the way down to the base of the belly, so you fill the diaphragm up completely. And then as you let the breath go, just let the diaphragm empty, guiding your exhalation out your body. Feeling that full length and full course of every single breath. And then on this last exhalation here, or rather after this last exhalation, bring a little bit of movement back into your body. If you're seated, make your way down onto your back and draw your knees in towards your chest. Give them a little hug. Maybe a little rock from side to side, or maybe you need to create some circles, either with the legs together or with the legs going different directions. Whatever you choose to do the opposite way now, and this is just a little hug. And stop in the centre, placing the arms wide to your body. If you don't have that much space, create little cactus arms. Then either with the feet off the ground or the feet on the ground, just allow your hips to roll side to side. Letting it feel like the rotation is coming from your waist. So holding the bottom of the rib cage down onto the floor. Once you've done both sides evenly, stop in the centre. Place, doesn't matter which, I'll just say left. Left foot down to the floor, cross the right thigh over the left thigh. And then allow the legs to roll down to the left side. It already feels really lovely and yummy, doesn't it? So here you can support yourself by placing your hands gently on top of the legs and just guiding them down to the floor more, whilst reaching the other arm away from you to anchor down through the upper shoulder. I've conveniently got a chair to place my hand underneath to help keep you down here. So if you've got anything that surrounds you, you can use it to assist or even support the knees. Taking one last inhale and exhale. And rolling back to the centre, crossing the legs over the opposite direction. Maybe lifting the hips and shifting them a little bit more to the left side of the mat before you roll the legs down to the right side, assuming that you've gone the same direction as me. Now you already might notice one side is slightly different to the other. I think it's very rare that we're all completely symmetrical. One more breath in, one more breath out. And then returning back to the centre. You might as well keep that leg on the top here, but as you square your hips to the floor, slide your ankle just on top of the opposite knee and then push that knee out to open. And just spend a few moments there, just allowing your pelvis to feel like it's spreading out along the ground. Then inhaling, lift your legs towards you, reaching through the gap between the legs to find a thigh. If it feels better, feel free to keep it on the floor, that's all good. If you want a little bit extra, maybe try straightening the leg up to the ceiling at the same time. And then you may even just want to walk one hand or both hands up the legs, if that's accessible for your flexibility and even limb length. So we get both our hamstring stretch and the glute stretch at the same time. And you can use this other arm here as it hooks through the hole between the legs, just to push the elbow. It sounded like sound just bad language. Anyway, you can use your elbow just to guide the knee out a little bit wider. Maybe have a little rock from side to side. Really, it doesn't really matter what you're doing as long as it feels nice. Try and keep your upper body relaxed as much as you can. Relax the shoulders. If it feels like you're straining, so you can change the positioning of your hands. Gently release and then swap over to the other side. Ankle over the opposite knee. Just spending a moment there with the foot on the floor just to create that space in the pelvis. Does it feel like your hip bones are spreading wide? Just gently guide that knee out a little further. And then pick up both legs, drawing them towards your chest. Not so much so that it feels like you're lifting your bum up off the floor, but just in that general direction. Choosing to straighten the other leg if you wish, but not necessarily. Maybe rocking and rolling. Definitely feel nice, isn't it? And the old glutes. And take one more deep breath in. One slow breath out. And then gently release the legs. Hug the knees into the chest. Then rock yourself up and spin your feet around. So you come onto all fours. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, breathing in, opening the chest into half row cat, exhaling into downward cat. Flowing at your own speed. Maybe if it feels really nice somewhere, just spending a little bit more time there. Going into the edges of what your body needs. Coming back into a neutral position and dropping down onto the forearms by neutral. I mean, pelvis is not tilting forwards or tucking under, drawing the belly in to keep the back long. And I'm going to take one hand to the back of the head, open the chest to the side, and then spread that arm underneath to the opposite side as you exhale. And let's do this 5 times. Open. As you inhale, exhale. And thread, maybe just sliding the shoulder towards the center of your mat as you do that. As you open, press down through the shins to stop the hips from moving. Maybe even engage the inner thighs there to keep them open. Once you've done 5, switch over to the other side. I think it's going to be one of those classes where like everything we do, I'm like, oh, that feels so good. But doesn't it just? So enjoy these sensations. And if it doesn't quite feel amazing, move and adjust until it does feel amazing. After your 5, child's pose. But yeah, there's absolutely no rush whatsoever. And then whenever you're in your child's pose, allow enough space between your arms to let it feel like your shoulders and your neck are relaxed. Tailbone as close to your heels as you can. And then walking the arms onto the diagonal. So we're going to flow side to side here. So as you come to the left side, right hand places on top of the left hand to stretch that side. And then we're going to walk the hands over to the other, place the left hand on top of the right hand, and then push the chest square to the floor. And just alternate the sides. If it feels good, better for you, take your knees wider apart here. Once you've done both sides equally, coming back into the centre, reaching the arms fully on the floor, taking one last slide of your hips down to your heels to get as much length in the lower back as you can. And then eye gaze to the fingertips, striking cobra, and pull yourself through the arms, taking the elbows as wide as you need. Either stay here with the hips on the floor in cobra or lift hips and arms to upward dog, back into child's pose. And let's do that again, finding fluidity, pressing your hips down to the floor in your back bend, but without letting it feel like your lower back is compressing. So that means as you press your hips down, keep lifting your belly in and up to the bottom of the rib cage. So you keep that nice long length in the spine. That supports your back bend. Pulling the middle part of your back together to lift and open the chest. Yeah, you're going to do one more. But this time make your way into downward dog. Beautiful little cobras. Hips high in a downward dog, spreading the fingers. Bend the knees as much as you need so your back doesn't round in your downward dog. And then pedal the feet up and down, take it for a little walk. Maybe twisting your hips to one side a little at the bottom to explore the stretch through the shins and the calves. It's a sultry dog. Coming back central and inhaling into your plank, shifting the shoulders over the hands. I just stay on the toes or drop to the knees. Exhale with control, lower down, elbows in. Inhale back into cobra or upward dog. Exhale into downward dog. Same flow. Breathing in, come forwards. Breathing out. If you're on your toes, keep your thighs squeezed to keep your body solid. Breathing in. Pull the shoulders down, the center of the back. Breathing out, downward dog. One more time through. Following the rhythm with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale opens. Exhale. Press the chest back to the thighs more. Lifting your right leg. The three-legged dog, pull the belly in as you lift. As you exhale, step the foot forwards, outside your hand, or well, just wherever it goes. Drop the knee to the floor, and then breathing in. Again, lift your arms up into a lunge. There's that deep hip stretch. Circle the arms behind the back, clasp as you exhale. Now here, push the knuckles gently to the ground. Draw the belly in, so you've got that tight corset or almost wrapped around your waist. So we're not too relaxed in the abdominals. On the next inhale, lean forwards, belly draws in tight, hands floor. Exhale, twist towards the inner edge of that leg. Circling the hand down to the floor as you inhale, bring it inside the foot. Exhale, step back, down dog. Left leg rises on the inhale, three-legged dog. Stepping the foot forwards as you exhale outside the hand. Drop the knee to the ground, inhaling. Lunge, arms rise, exhaling, circle hands behind the back and clasp. Breathing in, spread the rib cage, lift the sternum. If you feel any irritation in your lower back, then come a little bit further forwards, focus more on height and lifting the rib cage away from the hips. On the next inhale, come forwards, hand to floor, exhale, twist. Pressing this knee into the chest, circle the hand round, place it on the inside, lift the knee, step back to down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot outside the hands. If you want to come in a little narrower, then you're welcome to as well. Drop the knee to the floor, breathing in again. Lunge. Breathing out. Press that front foot firmly into the floor. Stay here for another breath in. You feel the stretch through your hip and your quad. Coming forwards as you breathe in, lift the belly, lengthen the chest, twist it as you exhale, turning the chest, squeezing mid back. Hand down as you inhale, lift the back knee, exhale, step back, down dog. Left leg rises on the inhale, three-legged dog. Push the foot away from you, exhale, step it forwards. Go as wide as you wish to, drop the knee. Drag your weight forwards here so you can really connect with the hips. Breathing in, lift. Roll the back hip so it's square to the short edge of your mat. Exhale, circle the arms behind. If your hip and your torso starts to rotate on the diagonal, then you start to lose that feeling in the hip flexors. On your next inhale, come forwards, hand to floor, exhale, twist. Circle the hand behind, bring it back down to the floor, step back into down dog. This time come forwards to plank as you inhale. Knees or toes, exhale, lower. Yes, awesome. Breathing in, push away from the floor through the whole of the hand, exhale, down dog. Right leg lifts on the inhale, three-legged dog. Bend the knee on the exhale this time. Allow your hip to start opening to the right side. Keep your shoulders square to the floor. Step the foot outside your hand as you inhale. As you exhale, drop the back knee. Let your hips just sink a little without losing the engagement in the belly. Feel free to relax the back foot. Now this time you're going to turn that front foot a quarter turn outwards to the right side. And as you do, pull your hip back. Now here you can sit the left leg down to the floor, left hip to the floor completely, but you don't have to. So here this stretches the outer part on both sides of you if you are tight there, but it definitely helps to open out the outside of your hips. You can come onto the outer edge of that right foot as well. It doesn't have to be flat to the floor. Awesome. Coming back to the front. Lifting the back knee as you inhale. Exhale this time into pyramid. If you wish to, you can keep the back knee to the floor. Pull the hips back, maybe lift the toes off the floor. While in your pyramid. Again, you can try pulling your toes back away from the floor if you wish, just to get that extra intense sensation at the back of your leg. Feel free to use blocks to place your hands on, or anything that helps you come a little higher. It's a bit hard to have your hands on your shins if your heels off the floor. So if you wish to come higher, you might want to place that whole foot flat down. Bend the front knee back into lunge. Step back into down dog. Left leg rises on the inhale, three-legged dog. Now really pull that leg up to the ceiling. Bend the knee. Heel towards the opposite butt cheek, and then try and lift your knee to face, kneecap to face the ceiling. Really open out the hip. Yay. Also, on your next inhale, step the foot forwards. Place the foot outside your hand or outside your shoulder. Drop the knee to the floor, relax the foot. Lengthen your whole body forwards. Then quarter turn the front foot and the knee out to the side. So yeah, so a whole 90-degree turn here, pivoting on the heel, pull the top hip back, try not to sink into the supporting arm, so we want a little bit of strength in the waist of the opposite side, so that'd be the right side of your torso. Maybe it feels nice just to floss this here, so you're almost like sliding your left hip bone forwards and then pulling it back, left hip bone forwards, pulling it back. Your choice. It's always nice to explore. Coming back to the front on the inhale, turn the toes forwards, lift the back knee, pyramid, or keep it down if you choose. Pull the belly in, then drag your hips back and up. So you lift the toes off the floor. Try and let it feel like your hips are level. So often, if we think about just rolling the left, like whole of the thigh inwards a little bit, without it tilting your butt cheek, but just a tiny rotation in, and the back thigh, that just rotates in a little. It almost gives you the feeling that your butt cheeks are separating apart from one another. Your tailbones, so your sit bones even are sliding wider. That often means then you've got a more level pelvis. Bend the front knee, lengthen the chest, lunge, step back into downward dog. Right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip as you exhale. Try and keep the rest of your torso really still. So we disassociate upper body to lower body. Reaching the heel of your left foot down towards the floor. Doesn't have to reach, but just see if you can get that extra length in that leg. Step the foot outside your hand. Now this time you can keep the back knee off the floor or drop it down like we did before, but quarter turn that front foot outwards, pull the hip back. Now this can be a little bit more intense and a little bit stronger for your arm, your shoulder, your waist. So you can drop that knee down to the floor if you want to. You can use your hand just to ply the inner thigh out a little wider. Coming back to the front, pyramid. So if you want a slightly narrower stance, shuffle the foot in, make it work for you. Drag the heel back so your toes lift off the floor. Or if it feels much nicer to have the foot planted, then you go for it. Can you suck your belly in and up, almost like you're trying to pull it underneath your rib cage? And then see if you can use that little contraction there to help lower your chest down to the thigh, down to the shin a little bit more. On the next inhale, shuffle forwards. Lunge. Push out the back heel, lift the chest. Step back into downward dog. Ready for the other side. Left leg rises on the inhale. Now here, root your hands, really anchor them down. Bend the knee, heel to bum. Open that hip round. So aim the knee to the ceiling. Check your standing leg hasn't rotated in. Give your hips some really open space. Step the foot outside the hand. Again, you choose either drop the back knee to the floor or keep it lifted, but turn the front foot quarter turn. If you're on your toes, then you also come onto the outer edge of the back foot. Pull the hip back, lift the waist a little bit higher away from the floor if your knee isn't down. Also back to the front, straight into your pyramid. Feel free to adjust your position more narrower in any direction you wish. Try lifting the toes. Try finding the place where your body needs the space the most. Yeah, imagining the front of your pelvis is trying to roll in. As in, the very bony parts of your, on the front of your hip. You imagine those two sliding towards each other, towards your pubic bone. Bending the front knee, come forwards into your lunge. Yeah, stepping back to downward dog. If you wish to take rest, go into child's pose. If not, flow, coming forwards to plank. Breathing in, breathing out, knees or toes lower. Squeeze the elbows, clamp them into your sides a little bit more. Inhale. Yeah, exhale, everyone down the dog. Take your feet, both feet to your hands, either jump or step. Feet about hip distance apart, bend your knees, forward fold. Allow the shoulders to relax. In fact, maybe just take hold of the forearms, if that feels good for you, so you can just hang. If you wish to, take your elbows onto your thighs instead, so you get that same draping over feeling, just with a little bit more support. Making sure the weight stays through the middle of the foot. It's light around the toes and around the heel. Walking the eye gaze forward slowly, coming halfway up. Knees bend, roll up to stand. Stretch your arms up overhead. As you exhale, knees soften, hinge and fold. Rolling up to stand. Breathing in, breathing out, knees bend, fold. Rolling up on the inhale. Roll, folding down on the exhale. Then one more time to come up. Arms stay overhead. Shift the weight into your right leg. Take the left ankle just above the right knee. Sit the hips back a touch so we get that stretch through the glutes. Feel free to use anything for support, maybe a wall or a chair. And then lower your chest close to your inner shin or inner calf. I don't know how you look at it. If you wish to, you can bring your arms to your legs if it feels too much holding them over head, or even bring fingertips to the floor. As you next inhale, rise. Lift your knee to hip height if you can. Draw up through the standing leg, pull the belly in. Warrior 3, take the leg back, hinge at the hip. Ooh. Back leg long and straight. Standing split. So from here, tip the pelvis, bring the hands down towards the floor. Now your leg can lengthen up towards the ceiling. You can keep it dangling wherever you wish, at whatever height works for you. But we just want to get that feeling of one-legged fold. Everyone draw the knee in towards your chest for a little flamingo. And then either stay here or take the thigh or the whole leg out to the side and round, just like your three-legged dog with the open hip. But think standing split with the open hip. Gently lower the leg, foot to the floor, forward fold. Rolling up to stand as you inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhaling, cross your right ankle over the left knee. So the other side. Whoa. Focus, Cheryl. Bend the knees, sit the hips back. Just make sure that your knee hasn't twisted in on the right side and your hips haven't rotated on the diagonal. Press the chest down, maybe take the hands to the thigh, to the floor. Or for the stronger version, keep your arms reaching over ears. Or level with ears, rather. On the next inhale, rise, lift your knee to hip height. Press down through the whole of the standing leg. Take your eyes straight ahead. Warrior 3, push the foot back. Take the arms behind. Square the hip to the floor here. And then bringing the hands down to the floor. Standing split. Again, check the knee of your standing leg hasn't started to roll inwards. If it has, maybe the arch of your foot has collapsed in and just roll it onto the outer edge of the heel. Can you reach the other leg away? Doesn't matter how, it doesn't have to go high, just find length while pushing it away from you. Draw the knee in towards your chest of the lifted leg, so right knee to chest. Little flamingo, either stay here or open the hip. Taking the heel towards the opposite butt cheek and the knee up towards the ceiling. Gently lower the leg, foot next to the other forward fold. Rolling up to stand on the inhale. Nicely done, let's do that again. Weight shifts into the right foot, take the left ankle over the right knee. Sit the hips back. Hinge here a little. That helps to keep your lower back long and straight. Find your position. Hands wherever you need them to be. See, if the balance isn't quite there, so it doesn't matter. You can still get that the benefits of the stretch and the position with a little bit of support. One more breath in. One more breath out, then lift the arms, lift the knee. Stand as tall as you can. Whoa. Find the balance. Awesome. Warrior 3. Leg and arms go behind. Square the shoulders, square the hips. Tiny little micro bend to the standing leg or more if you wish. Then tip the pelvis down, standing split, hands to the floor. If you want a little bit more, you can walk your right hand to the back of your right calf and just help assist you to pull the chest a little bit closer to it. Reach the other leg really high. Everyone draw the knee in towards the chest and either stay and then or open hip to the side, take the foot to the opposite side, almost like to the opposite shoulder. Nicely done, land the foot next to the other, forward fold. Rolling up to stand, breathing in, crossing right ankle over left knee, also exhaling. Finding each corner of the foot pressing down. Finding the right feeling of your hips so it doesn't take like your big toe off the floor, or it doesn't take the outer edge of your foot off the floor. And then often if we keep that grounding, it makes finding stability easier when we do wobble. Inhale, rise, lift the arms, lift the knee. Tapping down anytime you wish. Pulling up through the front of that thigh. Also warrior 3. Standing split. Coming into your edge. And then everyone draw the knee in towards your chest. Either stay or circle the thigh round to the opposite side. Maybe taking that extra balance challenge of taking the left hand to the left leg to hold. And lowering the foot next to the other, forward fold. Step or jump back into plank. And if you want to go straight into child's pose, you're welcome to, if not, flow. And then ending in child's pose. And taking a few breaths. And coming up onto all fours, spin round to the long edge of your mat and then spread your knees out as wide as possible for frog. So you may want to support yourself a little bit more by taking something soft underneath the knees. And here, see if you can bring the inner edge of your shin and foot down to the floor. If that doesn't quite happen, don't worry. Little brace of the belly. Stops the pelvis from overarching. How is that feeling? Thumbs up. Yeah, you're not before. If it doesn't feel quite right for you, then you're welcome to bring your feet together and shift the hips back into a really wide child's pose instead. Sometimes it can be a little bit too much for the knees if your hips are particularly tight. It's going to take 5 more breaths here. See if you can soften through the whole of the inner thigh. Don't get surrender. And slowly make our way out, coming up onto the hands. Bringing the feet together, shifting the hips back and shuffling the knees in together. You're going to lay onto your side. Cat's tail, so you can go straight there if you wish. Or you can start off on the forearm or lay straight down onto the floor. But you're going to take hold of bottom ankle of the hand. If it doesn't quite work for you holding it, then you're welcome to wrap something around it to give you a little bit more space. Or just tuck the foot up there, you don't have to hold onto it. Your other leg is going to come across the body to the opposite side. That foot is at. Then here, you can always adjust this to bend the top leg or straighten it out, whatever works for you. And then if you wish, you can stay here and just enjoy that. Or you lay your shoulders down onto the floor. And then you can use the other hand here to maybe take hold of the foot or hold anywhere along the length of that leg. That's going to help you then just feel a little bit more secure and relaxed. In your position, and just let your body melt completely. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. And slowly let go of the parts that you're holding on to. Allow the legs to come back together. And then roll over onto the other side. So again, you can start by propping yourself up onto your forearm or staying down onto the ground. Taking the bottom leg with the opposite hand to find that quad stretch. Taking the top leg across to the opposite side of the other leg. And maybe bringing the shoulders down towards the floor. So again, just adjusting your position to work through your body in the feeling that it's currently in. There's no point in forcing it into a place that doesn't work for you. Or forcing it into a shape to match what someone else looks like. It's all about finding what's right for you. Taking one final deep breath in. Savouring that exhalation and all the sensations you feel with it. And slowly letting go of any part that you're holding onto. Allowing legs to draw back towards each other and rolling onto your back. Allowing the arms and legs to lengthen and rest on the floor. Or if this doesn't feel like a comfortable position for you, go to a place that feels comfortable. Wrapping yourself up with something warm or supporting your head with a cushion. Allowing the eyes to close or the eye gaze to soften. How does your breath feel? How does your body feel? Allowing your ankles to soften, your knees to soften. Allowing your hips to let go of any tension it's holding. Allowing your shoulders to melt away from your neck. Maybe just sliding your arms further away and further down both sides if you need that little bit more space in your neck. If the jaw needs softening, allow the teeth to part. And allowing your mind to let go just as much as you've allowed your body. Trying to follow every breath from its beginning to its end. Allowing you to stay present. Sometimes that's all we need. It's a little bit of presence. Presence in ourselves. Thoughts can sometimes race away with us, just as ideas and dreams and fantasies can too. In a few moments where you can just be here. It'll be so rewarding for your mind. Let's take one more really deep breath in. And on the breath out, allow yourself to have a little smile on your face. Really appreciating this time that you've given yourself. And making gentle little movements as and when you're ready. Taking as much time as you need. Of course, you're welcome to stay for as long as you wish. The beauty of being at home. In your own time, in your own way, sit yourself back up.